Welcome back to the channel. My name's Adam Smith, and inside this storage solution video, we're checking out Season 3 and Season 4's all-in storage solution from Tinkering Paws for Cthulhu Death May Die. Now, this video is a follow-up to a previously released video where I covered Season 1 and Season 2's all-in insert for Cthulhu Death May Die. If you want to check out that video first to see those seasons, I'll have the video in the top right-hand corner. It is worth mentioning at that time when the video was released, I had a coupon code you can use on the Tinkering Paws website for a discount off the physical insert if you want to go that route. I'll also have it in the pinned comment and video description of this video as well. And for those that already have a 3D printer that is going to work with the specifications of the STL files, you can go that route with either of the seasons, the bundles that you can pick up from Tinkering Paws. In this video, I'm going to focus on Season 3 and Season 4. After the video, if you're interested in picking this one up, also be aware of the fact that when you're selecting your insert to be physically sent to you, you're going to have the option to choose the color of the insert as well as the text that's on the dividers and also the different episode containers. There's going to be trays for each episode. You'll see these, and you can actually choose the color variation that goes across the insert. For myself here for Season 3 and 4, I selected black as the primary insert color with the text being in red. Thought that would look really cool. In the prior one, Season 1 and 2, I went with all black for the insert and dark green for the text. Now, one of the major things this insert's going to provide to you that I noticed when I was going through it is setup and teardown is drastically reduced, because once the box lid comes off, as you're going to see when I open up this one first, you're going to notice that right away you have access to a number of trays you can pull out and put on the table, and that's it. There's no lids, there's no crazy boxes inside of boxes, there's no tiered layered storage of miniatures. All that kind of stuff is gone. You simply just grab the trays as you need them, put them on the table, grab what you need, and put them back inside the box. It makes the setup and teardown so much easier than it was before. I literally needed a side table just to house all the different pieces from the insides of the boxes as they came originally. So this insert does a great job of consolidating things down in terms of the number of boxes, but also makes that setup and teardown time so much easier. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look inside this one. So I'll show you exactly how the insert manages things. It also can hold sleeves up to 100 microns. So if you're a crazy sleever, you can go nuts with this one and have tons of space to do it. Inside the first box on the very top, you're going to, of course, find the rulebook as well as a number of the major dashboards in the game. So we'll simply just go ahead and remove these one at a time so you can see exactly what's in here. Also, Season 4's rulebook is in here. So basically everything that's a large size pamphlet or page or paper is on the very top of this. You've also got two of these dashboards as well. So we'll move these off to the side, and then underneath, you can begin to see how the insert organizes things. And just so it's easier for you to see the dividers and the colored text that you can choose to have on this actual insert, we'll flip it over to this side or this angle, and you can now see the different episodes here across everything inside of Season 3 and Season 4, as well as the lost episodes. So you've got Season 3 all the way through 1 to 6, you've got Season 4, 1 to 6, and you've got the lost episodes 4 through 9. Now, I've rotated the box one more time so you can see the smaller cards on this side. We got Season 3 running through Season 4 as well as the lost episodes as well. They're all structured in here, so if you need to find one, it's very easy. You've got the Insanity cards broken out, the Ally cards, you've got the Darkness cards, you've got the Relic cards, you've got Behavior cards, Universal Behavior cards for the monsters, and then, of course, the major Elder One cards all broken down. And then you've got a bigger tray for some of the larger cards. You'll see nothing in here for me is sleeved as of yet, but I like to sleeve this one because it's one of my favorite games, so this is going to get the sleeve treatment. You can absolutely find room for sleeves in this. You'll have tons of space, whether you go up to 100 or 60 microns with your sleeving, you're good to go. Again, the fact that the insert has labeled dividers makes putting your game inside the insert absolute joy, because you know exactly where things are supposed to be, and you can essentially lay things out as you wish. I've kind of got one season, then the lost episodes in the middle, and then I got Season 4 at the very back, for instance. You'll see with this insert for the cards, very easy access to grab everything out. Everything goes straight down to the very bottom of the box. So you simply just grab the tray that you need. Everything's divided out. And again, even for setup, you're just pulling stuff out and you can begin your setup the moment the box lid comes off, which is a huge plus compared to what was, as I mentioned, given in the final version after the crowdfunding campaign. And again, you can just pick a certain season if you're inside of it to place in the smaller one here and leave the larger one for whatever you've already played or potentially what you're going to play. So you can kind of use the insert in different ways that way, because the trays are varying size. You have a smaller tray here and then kind of a larger tray here. Once the cards are out of the equation and they've been completely removed, and I absolutely love this red and black pairing, it looks so good. You've got the token tray underneath, which is even cooler because the actual token tray is labeled per each of the episode boxes. So instead of having to, again, go box inside a box inside a box to get down into the different components, you can just simply go to whichever episode that you're playing, and you're going to have an outline in red as to what components actually tie to whichever one you are playing. So you'll see they're outlined in red. So if you're here in the Lost episode 9, you know this token, this token, this token, being that the borders are all in red, are the 3 you're going to need to set up for that episode. Now, years ago, Tinkering Paws may not have had token trays like this for episodic content in order to make things easier for setup and teardown, but this is such a huge jump in their inserts, and I absolutely love seeing this kind of stuff. It's been happening a lot more over the last year and a half or so, where they've really been dialing in and making their storage solutions not only just about condensing down the craziness of all-ins, but also making that setup and teardown time an absolute dream. Moving right along, we get into the game tiles themselves to create the environments of the episode. So first off, a smaller tray here in terms of thickness, but these are the larger tiles. And this actually sits inside of notches, which are on either side to ensure the tray doesn't go left to right and is locked into position once everything is inside the insert, which I like to see. And then, of course, underneath, you've got 2 more trays, which are locked together, which you can easily just lift straight out when you actually need to get into them. And what's even cooler about these tile trays that have the medium size inside them, if you flip it over to the opposite side, you'll see some holes. So you can easily push out the tiles without having to dig inside of them. You can essentially just flip it over too and have them all spill out. Now there's a groove in here as well. As you go further down, once you get past the weird shaped pieces, there's a groove along the middle that's about half the height of the tray, which is for the long rectangular pieces, of which there's typically a lot of them in this game. These are kind of the more abstract pieces which sit on top. So again, organization for the tiles is very neat and tidy, which I love. And then of course almost the medium size to larger rectangles are inside of here with a couple abstract pieces on top. But once you get past those 3, it's pretty much all rectangular all the way through. And again, this one sits just like this. So if I was to, again, flip it over, you're going to have the holes where you can just simply go ahead and pop them out, which is awesome. Now we get down to the season tray for the episodes. That's episode 3 and 4. So as you saw prior with the Lost episodes, again, another tray that has the border lines differentiating which components go with which episode. So when you're ready to play one, you know exactly which tokens that you need. Again, presentation of this looks awesome. As we continue onwards, we've got a number of smaller trays, and of course, these are going to house the more universal components you'll be using throughout the game. And of course, you've got the dashboards down at the very bottom. So the first tray here, if you just move this out of the way, you've got all the different player tentacle tokens by color. You've got a number of other, again, universal tokens that you see in almost every single game. Taking that tray out, you'll be using that all the time. Then you've got some more universal tokens. Some of these start to get specific, though, in terms of their use, but they're all paired out right here, and they're not inside of episode containers whatsoever. But again, everything is found inside the PDF as well as a video that they put out to make things easy to figure out which tokens go where for these trays. It makes the whole process of essentially moving your game into the organizer very easy. This has a nice cutout for these 2 tokens, which once they're removed, you can see the most common tokens, which are going to be the fire tokens and the damage tokens you're going to see all the time, as well as some skill tokens buried in there. We'll take this tray out as well, and these just sit back in quite nicely. And then down below, we have some more. These are for Season 4, Episode 5, and Episode 6. They actually have a lot of tokens for that particular, or those 2 episodes, so they kind of divided it into a larger tray. Final couple things here. We got the player dashboards, which are the exact same height when laid right up against the dice tray. You'll see there's additional space for dice, which is great because you saw in my Season 1 and Season 2 video for Cthulhu Death May Die, the Tinkering Paws insert, I have a lot of dice. I picked up a whole bunch for this one, so having extra space for that is huge. Again, if you're not going ahead and sleeving every single card in the game, you could technically take a card tray, for instance, and actually fill that with dice. I could easily take these ones if I wasn't sleeving these and drop them into this bucket here with the insanity ones, and I'd still have space to move around, and I could use one for dice. So if you are one of those people that pick up crazy amounts of dice, because maybe you're playing up to 5 individual people and you'll have a dice set for everybody, then you definitely can make space in this insert to make that happen. Let's now rebox this one. We'll start placing the trays back in the box. As each tray goes back inside the box, the entire insert becomes more stable and locked in. This allows for vertical storage and horizontal storage. The smaller cards go into the left side, locking things in over here, and the final cards will go in, locking positions on the right. That's going to do it for box number 1 using the Fear of the Unknown box. Next up is box number 2, which is a Season 4 expansion box. Let's check it out. And as you can see, this box is completely full of miniatures. Tinkering Paws uses a track system to store the miniatures, whether you have the box horizontal or vertical, it works. This first tray has all of the investigators on one side, as well as some of the allies. You can see off to the right, the smaller ones. And then on the other side, there's some allies, there's monsters, as well as cultists in red. Now, this tray makes it really easy. You pull out one tray when you're looking for an investigator, and you can easily see across all of the investigators to find the one you're looking for without having to go through a million boxes. And again, track systems are used here for the columns. And then you're going to go across to this side, and you'll see all the cultists laid out. It makes it really easy to grab the miniatures of a specific type for each of the monsters within the game, as you can just pull them straight out of the columns and you're good to go. Now, as you get into some of the larger miniatures for the monsters, the customization of the insert really starts to shine, so you can start to see different pieces cut in certain shapes to house specific monsters. Again, easy to find the ones you're looking for of varying types, and again on a track system. I'll show you a couple of these trays up close. You'll see they're all cut a little bit differently to house the specific types of miniatures inside of them. This next tray came out of this bottom right-hand corner right here, and it was more vertical like this. So again, the only way these things are going to come out of the tray is if you tip it the way that the track is open. But other than that, they're secure in there, and they're not going anywhere. Some of the tracks even have additional space, which is nice to see. So if I pick up additional promos or other things that get released over time, there'll be some space for a couple additions. Again, similar to the cards that you saw earlier in terms of setup and teardown, finding the monsters you need to find makes it a lot easier. The second you open the box, you can literally find the monsters that you need to find and then pull the tray out and place it nearby, and you've got what you need for your episode. The biggest monster in the set, as you can see right here, has its own quarter piece, which is very unique to it, as well as a monster hiding around in the back. And last but not least, we got a whole bunch of large-scale miniatures here in this tray. It is amazing to see all miniatures in one box. That is a huge plus. Now let's go ahead and rebox this one. And just like that, all the miniatures are back inside the Season 4 expansion box. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up my storage solution video focusing on the all-in pledge for Season 3 and Season 4 inside of these two boxes from Tinkering Paws. If you have the all-in pledge for these seasons, this insert is likely the best you're going to find in terms of condensing things down and also making setup and tear down easy. If you have the retail content for this one, then you might need to focus on the secondhand market to pick up the additional content and be able to fill out the inserts to make the best use of them. In these situations, you'll have to make a judgment call as to whether or not it's the best bang for buck for you. But if you have the all-in pledge, this is certainly exactly what you are looking for to condense things down and make life easy to get the game to the table. If you're interested in this one in its physical version, to have it printed from Tinkering Paws, I've got a coupon code in the pinned comment and video description, only lasting for a couple of weeks, maybe about a week and a half after this video lands. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.